Convert or kill. You know, Phil Robertson, maybe you should get your grandkids to arm up and go out and get ISIS. It's absurd that Phil Robertson wants to take a page out of the ISIS playbook and use the convert or kill strategy. It's exactly what ISIS is doing throughout Syria and Iraq. And another thing, Mr. Robertson, I just wonder how many good Christian preachers you can get to back you up on that comment that maybe it's time to convert or kill.
All right, welcome back to Hannity. That was left-wing lunatic NBC News host Ed Schultz going after Duck Dynasty patriarch Phil Robertson for comments that he made earlier this week on this show. Joining me now to react, Fox & Friends co-host Brian Kilmeade, Fox News legal analyst Peter Johnson Jr., and Fox News contributor Tamara Holder. I don't know any Christian leader that is, or any Christian group that's out beheading, demanding convert or die, in the sense that what Phil Robertson was saying, if you kill innocent men, women, and children, if you slaughter American journalists, if you say to people either we will convert or die, there's a very different perspective here. And that obviously is too hard for an NBC host to understand.
I think the problem is that you chose a backwoods guy to talk about ISIS who has no background on it. Right. No. But Ed Schultz was attacking Phil Robertson.
What he was
He's not an expert on ISIS.
He's a strong Christian. He's actually a preacher at heart. Well, I think, to put it another way, either they change their hearts or they should die for what they are doing to innocent men, women, and children. Christians, Peter, are not doing that. That's the difference.
No, absolutely not. And I think Brian knows this guy well as you know.
He's a
bright guy.
Brilliant.
So we don't have to agree on everything he says all the time. But I think on this, I think he's kind of right on in terms of these folks wanting to kill all the time. That's not what the rest of the world's about.
They're beheading children and putting their heads on sticks.
Oh, it's beyond
medieval. But does Phil Robertson really want to proselytize? Does he really want to change
He's saying that either they give up their murderous ideology or they will die. And that's the right attitude that our country ought to have.
And if you watch your whole show, if you watch the whole segment, he's totally taking it out of context. So he wants everyone to say, wow, Phil Robertson wants all Muslims to either convert or die. That's not what happened. The extremist element that are torturing people and beheading that killed 2 American journalists, you can either convert or die. We know that they prefer to die. They want to die in battle. That's why they're provoking us into this conflict one time again.
Don't you agree with what he said, that these radicals need to have a clear, unambiguous message? If you do this, if you continue, you will die. You agree with that, I would assume.
Yes, and I think that ISIS is a major problem in this country, not just abroad. And our president has done nothing, or just a little bit.
Hang on.
I know, this is shocking.
Say that again.
The president has done very little to teach the American people, to talk to the American people, and to be very vocal and say, ISIS is bad, they're wrong, and we're going to go after them. They beheaded 2 Americans, and they're killing innocent people.
The president said we didn't have a strategy, which caused Joe Biden to go out, we'll chase them to the gates of hell. Pretty confusing message.
Well, there is no real message, because the president came out sounding like an auditor, an accountant, kind of this incremental, small-minded little stuff. We're going to push them back. We're going to isolate them. Oh, what about destroying them? Oh, yeah, that. But at the same time, we'll make it a manageable problem.
And we don't really have a strategy.
No, it can't be a manageable problem and destroy at the same time. You know, it's one or the other.
By the way, you guys coordinated on ties. It looks good.
Absolutely. He's a Trumpian. These are both Donald Trump ties.
Yeah. Okay, look at that.
There you go.
Okay.
You
got Trump too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Although mine is solid gold. I will say this: it's a problem between the Secretary of Defense, the President, and I think the intelligence bureaus.
All right, guys, we got to take a break. We'll have more with our great American panel right after.